the cook, the clean, and the portioning the case of Tunisian octopus. Here we go. So, all I have in here is water, splash of white vinegar. That's all that gets. Octopus are going in. Now, the reason octopus are so pricey in restaurants is if you see the size of this octopus, it's probably going to be half the size by the time it comes out of the water. There's going to be a lot more water in that pot when the octopus is done cooking than when it starts because of all the water that comes out of the octopus. So octopus is in here, lid on. As soon as this comes to a boil, for octopus this size, we're probably going to have it on a simmer for about 40 minutes, and I'll show you how I check it before I pull it out of the pot. Well, I heard the water overflowing, so we're boiling. It's just starting to boil. Now, close the lid. Get this on a simmer. I'm going to set a timer. A little timer right here. Preset, 40 minutes. We'll come back and check it. I'm not going to lie to you guys. The one thing about octopus is while it's cooking, it stinks. Worst smell on the planet as far as I'm concerned. All right, so metal skewer. I'm looking for a fat part of the leg, and it's going in and out. Can you come in right here? See this fat part of the leg? In, out, not too much resistance. Okay, she's good to go. So we're gonna get this off the pot now, and I'm gonna clean this pretty darn hot as fast as I can. I'm gonna pour a little slowly. Oh, the smell. It's a good thing it tastes better than it smells. It doesn't smell like that when it gets to the table, folks. So the reason I like to do this fast is because I find it a lot easier to clean when it's hot. As it cools off, this kind of fatty skin that I take off the sides gets harder to take off. Okay. Spread these out. Here we go. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the heads off. Set them aside. They are edible. They're actually very good. You just gotta know how to clean them, which by the end of this video, you're gonna know how. I only work with Tunisian or Moroccan octopus. I think it's the best in the world. You don't need to hang it outside to dry. You don't need to beat it against the fence. You don't need to put it in the washing machine on a rinse cycle, which I've heard some people do. I find it texture-wise a little bit better than a Spanish octopus. Not to say the Spanish one isn't great. It's great, but this is my preference. So now we're gonna get this beak out or whatever. You know, people keep correcting me on this. Let's just safe to say, I've cleaned a million bazillion octopi, and I don't know what that little black thing. I thought it was an ink sac. I don't know if it's a beak. I'm not too sure what it is. All I know is you don't want to eat it.
How long has this been on your menu?
Oh, this has been years. I do maybe like 3 cases like this a week sometimes. It's a staple in here. I'm gonna flip around. You can see it's still steaming. That's why I'm working with tongs and a knife. I'm gonna start with these heads. Okay. So for the time being, I'm just gonna cut off this hard part, set that aside. So I'm just splitting these in half. All right, now I'm just gonna separate the legs. Yeah. So, like I said, try not to cut them at the bottom of the tail. And something to note, if ever you're doing this, let's say you're a restaurant or you wanna buy a couple whole octopus to do this at home, you can do exactly what I'm about to show you and freeze it. This freezes incredibly well, even cooked. There's no blood inside, right? There's nothing to bleed out once you thaw it out. I don't need to freeze it because, like I said, we go through so much of it. But I would have zero quandaries, zero embarrassment to tell you that if I had to freeze my octopus, I would in a heartbeat. If it guarantees the freshness. And there's also one of those dishes where when I was younger and I first added it to my menu because it was a pricier item, back then pricey was like 15 bucks a plate. Now we're probably like 24, 25. That I was so nervous to sell this because really it's a 5-ounce portion for 25 bucks because of the shrinkage and the waste and all that. That I had a bunch of filler inside. I was putting in like some peppers and some onions. I was just trying to I didn't have confidence in myself when I was younger to sit there and just like let the food speak for itself and let the ingredients speak for itself. But then I finally got fed up. I said, you know what? We use the best octopus. We cook it really, really well. We serve it really, really clean. I'm gonna serve it the way I like it, and that's it. And you know what? As that confidence started to take shape, you know, my cooking started to improve. Restaurants started getting busier. So there's a lot to learn. There's a lot of life experience that goes into things. This is gonna be a little hot. So for the time being, I'm just gonna remove by hand. And you gotta do this by hand, guys. I can't do this with gloves. I'm not having the glove debate again. Okay, I gotta be able to feel my way through this. Right now I'm taking off this, and it just, You know, some people, like, I've seen in videos were like, oh, why are you taking it off? Or, you look, I don't want to eat that. Not for me, man. So if I feel anything that doesn't feel hard or doesn't feel appropriate, it's coming off. And this is just the first pass. There's going to be a second pass when I do this. On the first pass, I'm just trying to get the main, I don't know the word for this, fat skin. I want to get it off before it starts to stick to the leg. Try to come in a bit closer. This is the part I don't like. This little fatty part. I don't like the mouthfeel. I'm not going to be cleaning the tentacles. But this, I want off my octopus. If you want to eat it in your restaurant, you want to serve it, by all means. Okay. Here I don't. You know, that's how I like. So we took off that fat on the side I didn't like. Tentacles are still on. And how I do that is I just run my knife up once, up on the other side, and then I literally can just, with my hand, pull it right off. And that's it. Thank you to all our subscribers. It's actually made it quite a bit of fun. So, you know, the restaurant business can become really routine sometimes. You know, like I said, I do this 3 times a week. I'm still peeling potatoes. We're still doing a lot of, you know, still cutting cases of green onions. It's brought a little excitement to our everyday lives. A little overwhelming too. I do spend a lot of time in the kitchen. Chef owner first, and a very hands-on chef. I don't just walk in at the end of the day, put on my jacket and shake customers' hands. I'm normally the first one in, one of the last guys out. Yeah, I try to take off around 8 o'clock if I can on weeknights. Try to get home, tuck in my girls, get them to bed. If the restaurant's busy, I'm here. I just got a bucket of, well, a Tupperware full of cold water in here. Again, I'm just gonna start with the heads, and I'm feeling my way through it. If there's anything that I feel is not mouth-worthy, we'll say, it's off. These are actually beautiful now. Right now, we're just gonna rinse these legs quick. Then we're gonna portion it out, and that's it. Running down the leg one time, making sure everything's copacetic. I'm just gonna bring this over here closer to my scale, and now we're just gonna weigh our octopus. I'm going for roughly 5 ounces. These are really big legs, so a piece actually comes off. These are all like gonna be 1-piece portions. And now we're gonna...
This is an appetizer here?
This is an appetizer, yeah. Last step, we're gonna wrap the individual portions. Don't wrap it too tight. Restaurant hack. I once put a rookie cook to wrap my octopus, and he wrapped it so tight that we were trying to unwrap it during service. Why is there a timer? Let me shut that off. He wrapped it so tight, I think we fell behind a half an hour trying to unwrap every order before it went on the grill. You know, so excess use of plastic wrap or cling film is a big no-no. Once we wrap this up, we're gonna put it away in the fridge. When the garde manger guys get an order, well, they have these in their fridge, they take it out, oil it up on the grill. Like I said, we have a video up there somewhere. Then they finish it with a garlic, with a caper and onion mix, and our special dressing for that. And it's fantastic. So there you have it, guys. This ended up being 32 portions of Tunisian octopus ready for the grill. If you have any more questions as to what goes into the preparation, hit us up in the comments, and we'll do our best to answer them. All right.
Vivaldi